I'm going to preach hard for you this morning. How many of you know God's about to show up? I'm telling you, He's going to do something in this place. He's going to do something in this place. I better move this out of the way. I'm going to tear it up soon. I believe He's going to change somebody's life forever this morning. I believe it. I believe it. How many times in your life has God ever asked you a question? Did you know the question wasn't because He didn't know the answer?
That's right.
He already knew the answer. But you know why He asked you the question? He asked you the question because you could get revelation of what He wanted you to know.
Amen.
When He asked you a question, it ain't because He don't know. See, when we ask questions, as humans, we ask because we don't know the answer. Why did this happen? When did that happen? Where was that at? Who was that? What was going on with that situation? We don't know the answer. We ask the question because we need the answer. But when God asks a question to you this morning, He already knows the answer. Amen. He already knows the answer. But He's asking you a question this morning because He wants you to realize the situation that you're in. You can come up out of that situation if you can get revelation of what He's trying to get you to get revelation of. He's asking you a question this morning, not because He don't know the answer. Because He knows everything. He knows everything. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning of the end. He's asking you the question this morning, you hardhead, to get you to realize. Amen. To get you to realize who you are. I'm going to go through just a few of them, but there's two questions in the Bible that intrigued me last night as I began to study. And the two things that intrigued me, we'll get to those later, but you know, there's hundreds. I didn't realize this. There's hundreds and hundreds of questions that God asks people all through the Bible. And none of the time He needed the answer. Amen. None of the time He needed the answer, but they needed an answer. So He would ask them a question in parables and whatever He would use. And it would enlighten them and it would open their eyes to a situation that they couldn't see because they were too close to it. Think about this. What did He ask Adam? First thing He ever asked. He went to the garden after Adam had messed up. He said, Adam, where are you? Where art thou, Adam?
Yeah, come on.
You think God knew where He was at? Yeah, He knew where He was at, but Adam didn't know where He was at. The first time in his life he looked naked. He didn't know what was going on. Why did I mess up? Because the communion with God's not the same. I got to go hide myself. Adam, where are you? You come out covered in fig leaves. But God knew where He was at. God knew where He was at. And you go down to Jeremiah. And He asked Jeremiah, He said, is there anything that's too hard for me? Come on, think about these questions. Has He ever asked you that? When you was down in the dirt, or when you had something come against you that you didn't think you would ever get over, did God ever say, is there anything too hard for me? That question wasn't for Him, it was for you. It was for you. I know the answer. I know the answer. He is everything I ever needed. But sometimes He's got to ask me, did I not bring you out before? Did I not do this before? Yes, you did. God, remind me. Ask me again, God, so my faith can build inside of me. It ain't for Him, it's for you.
Yes, Lord.
To the lame man, what did God ask him? He said, would you be made whole? Yeah. Do you want to be made whole? God knew the answer. Of course He wanted to be made whole. And God just wanted to make sure whenever He was made whole, He knew who to come back and praise for it. Amen? He knew whenever He made him whole, He knew He was going to do it already. But He wanted that man to realize that when He makes me whole, I got to go back and serve Him for it. Praise Him for it. Amen. Amen. But what did He ask Bartimaeus? He said, what is it that you want from me? You know, every person around there knew what blind Bartimaeus wanted. Amen. He was screaming out. They knew what he wanted. He wanted his sight. Yes. But God said, what is it that you want from me? Everybody in the crowd knew the answer to that question.
Yes, Lord.
But something inside of Bartimaeus said, Lord, I want my sight. There's something down on the inside of me right now that's starting to stir up, God. Because of the question you asked, I realize that it's about ready to be obtained. See, he wasn't close enough for him to ask him before, but when God got close enough to ask him the question, he knew the miracle was within grasp. And he said, oh God, you know I want my sight. And you healed him. And you healed him to the adulterous woman. What did he do? He asked two questions. When he went up there and they had her down, they was about to stone her. They was about to throw stones at her. He asked the crowd, he said, is any of you without sin?
Amen.
And then all of a sudden he turned back to the woman and he turned around and everybody was gone. Because the question he asked cleared the room out. Then he asked the woman, he said, where's your accusers at? Where's your accusers? Said because when Jesus clears the room, when Jesus makes room for you, there's nobody that can stand in there and bring acquisition against you. He'll keep you down. This morning he'll clear it out. He'll contaminate the crime scene. I don't care what they said you did. He'll contaminate the crime scene and you'll get off scot-free this morning. He said, where's your accusers at? She looked up. Can you imagine beat down? She was getting ready to be stoned. She had her face down in the dirt. She had her face down in the dirt. She was getting ready to get stoned. And then all of a sudden, Jesus said, where's your accusers? Can you imagine being in that state? Looking up, looking around. Wow. Everything that was coming against you is gone. Shoot, have you ever been there when everything was coming against you and all of a sudden in one instant you got a word from God and you turned around and everything that was trying to get you down was gone. Lord have mercy. It was gone.
Come on.
Glory.
When the woman with the issue of blood, y'all know this story, right?
Amen.
I love this story. I preached it a lot. People was throwing him all through there. He'd probably been touched millions of times. And then all of a sudden, that woman that was desperate, that woman that had a problem, that woman that was going to say, I don't care what it takes, I'm going to get to him today. I don't care what it takes, I'll find a way. I don't care how bad I feel in my body. I don't care who said what. I don't care who's come against me. I'm going to find a way through that crowd because I can see him over there and I'm about to get to him. And she found her way through the crowd and she got down and she touched the hem of his garment and he stopped in the instant and said,
Yes, Lord.
who touched me?
Hallelujah.
You know why? You know why he said that? Because everybody around him was touching him on accident. She touched him on purpose.
Yeah, that's right.
She touched him on purpose, church. When you get a purpose in your heart that says, I'm going to find him no matter what the cost. I'm going to find him no matter what it costs me to get there. And when you get there to him, and you finally find a way to get to him, and you touch him, he's going to stop dead in his tracks. He's going to say,
Come on.
who was it? Who was it this morning that touched me? And the Holy Spirit is here this morning, but we got to usher him in, and he's going to say, who was it that called upon me this morning? Who was it that wanted my anointing this morning? Who was it that wanted more this morning? Who touched me? I felt a demand. The Bible says virtue left his body.
Yes.
Hey, I've had 2 encounters, and I'll tell you, I have. I pray for many people. But I've had 2 encounters that I felt virtue leave my body.
Yes.
And it was like an impartation. I don't understand how it happened, and it don't happen every time. But when you feel something impart in somebody, you know, there's no question in your mind what just happened. You know God made an impartation for somebody. Jesus asked his disciples, he said, who do they say that I am? Some say you're John the Baptist. Some say you're Elijah. Others even say you're Jeremiah or one of the other prophets. He asked the disciples that. But then he asked a question like this. He said, who do you?
Who do you say?
I know what they say.
Who do you say?
I know what they say. But who do you say that I am? The Bible says he asked the disciples, but only one of them got it.
Yeah. Amen.
Only one of them got it out of the 12.
Thank you, Jesus.
Peter said, you're the Son of God.
Yes.
You are the Christ. You know what he told him?
Thank you, Jesus.
He said, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you,
That's right.
Simon Barjona. But my Father which is in heaven, he revealed that to you. Because sometimes when God asks the question, when you get the revelation of what he's trying to have, it ain't about nothing else. It's about a revelation. When you get it, you've got it. He said, that come from somewhere else.
Yes, Lord.
That didn't come from all these others that didn't get it. That come from my Father, Peter. You got it, you got it, you got it. He said, because you got it, up on you, I'm going to build a church. Up on the rock, I'm going to build on that. I'm going to build on it because you got it. You got it.
Yes, Lord.
Ah, glory to God.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
He said to Philip, he said, I've been with you so long, but do you know me? I've been with you so long, but do you know me? Do you really know me? How many times do we go through this life and we go through hard times and God's saying, don't you know who I am? Do you not know me? Do you not know me? Draw close to me. Do you not know me? I am anything that you need. But I've been with you so long, you've been going to church your whole life. Do you not know me yet? Do you not know my power yet?
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
Hallelujah. Praise
He asked Peter when he was being a heathen, he said, he asked Paul when he was being a heathen, he said, why are you persecuting me?
Yes, Jesus.
Why are you persecuting me for? What's in it for you? Why would you do this?
Yes,
And then did y'all know that situation on Damascus Road? I preached that sermon one time when he met him on Damascus Road and he finally took the mask off of him. And he finally took the mask off and stripped the veil off of his eyes so he could see who he actually was. Then he realized the answer to that question that he was asked.
Yes.
Why are you persecuting me?
yes, Lord.
He realized the answer. He asked Peter. Y'all remember this one too. He said, dost thou love me? What did he say? He said, Lord, you know I love you.
Yes.
You think God knew that he loved him?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. He knew, but he still asked him because he wanted him to get the revelation of how much he really loved him.
Yes, Jesus. Glory.
I believe he's going to ask somebody this morning, do you really love me?
Yes, Lord.
Hi, if you do, what are you going to do? You're going to feed my sheep. Do you really love me? How do you really love me this morning?
Yes.
He asked the disciples, he said, why do you call me Lord? And then not do the things that I ask you to do.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Why do you call me Lord and then I tell you to do something and you don't do it?
Glory to God. Thank you, Jesus.
And you know what they thought? It wasn't for God. He knew why they did it. But can you imagine what started generating in their mind?
Yes, Lord.
We do call him Lord. Why do we do this when we're not supposed to? Why do we do this? I know what he's saying now. It's opened up my eyes. Why do you do these things? And then you call me Lord. He asked the crowd, he said, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? You think that was for the crowd? Yeah, it was for the crowd. Well, Jesus, he knew what a profit. But he was asking them, he said, what do y'all go through this life and y'all are up against all this stuff and you do all these things and you do all these things that take up so much time and you do all this stuff and I can't even get you to serve me just a little bit. What does it profit you to gain all these things if you lose your soul?
Amen. Glory.
Now we're going where I want to go. Where I want to go. In Luke 24, y'all know the scripture inside and out.
Thank you, Jesus.
Luke 24, you don't even have to turn if you don't want to, but I'm going to read it. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices with them that they had prepared. and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered in, and they found not the body of the Lord Jesus. And it came to pass, as they went, they were much perplexed thereabout. Behold, two men stood there in shining garments. I believe they were angels. And they were afraid, and bowed down their face to the earth. And they said unto them, Why seek thee? Come on now. What they asked him, he said, oh my Lord, why you seek the living among the dead? See, they didn't know he wasn't there. I'm going to preach it just in a second. He is not there, but he is risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he said, when he was yet at Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of the sinful and be crucified, and on the third day he rise again. And they remembered his words, and he returned to the sepulchre and told all these things unto the 11 and to all the rest. I want you to listen right here. They've been talking about they went. They were Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Mary the mother of James, and the other women that were there with him, which told these things to the apostles, and the words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed not. Then arose Peter, and ran into the sepulchre, and stooping down, he beheld the linen cloths by themselves, and departed. See, sometimes it intrigued me that it talked about they for several verses there, and then it decided that it was going to tell you who they were. They were Mary Magdalene. Y'all know who Mary Magdalene was. She's from Magdalene, or whatever that town is. You know what was there, right? The harlots lived there. You know, all through the Bible, they want you to know that Mary Magdalene, Mary the harlot, she was there. She was there with Jesus. You know why? Because he had asked her a question in the past about something, and she had been delivered, and therefore she was grateful. Even until after death, she was still prepared to go back and check on Jesus, even after he had died. Right. Because she had a grateful heart. You have a grateful heart this morning. Nobody has to tell you during praise and worship to give him praise. Because you have it on the inside of you. You know what he's done for you, and you can give him praise. Amen. Then you got Joanna. Joanna was there. The prophets say that Jesus healed her son. That's what they say. So if he healed her son, you think she was grateful? Amen. Absolutely. You let somebody be good to your kids and see what happens. You let somebody get your kid off the street and see what happens. You let somebody raise your kid from the dead and see what happens. You're going to be grateful. She was grateful enough that 3 days later she was still at the tomb. She was still at the tomb. And then you got Mary, the mother of James. It's not the James that we think of, but James followed Jesus. He pulled James up out of the mess, and he followed Jesus. And because of that, his mother was grateful enough that she followed too. She followed too. Like I said, you let somebody get your kid in line, you'll be grateful. Yes, you'll be grateful if somebody gets your children in line with the Word of God. Yes, and these three grateful women, they went down, and what got me was, they went early in the morning. Before anybody else was up stirring around, they went early in the morning. And the Bible said they prepared spices. Yeah. They prepared spices. You know what the spices were for? They were to put on the dead stuff to make it not stink. Yeah. So they were going back to where they thought Jesus was at. And they were prepared to protect him even after he was gone. They was prepared by protection in that ointment that they were going to cover it up so nobody ever had to smell it. Yeah. Yes, Jesus. Thank you. They had him covered even after he was gone. Bless you, Jesus. They was protecting him. Thank you, Jesus. But there were some angels there. Yes, Jesus. Do you think heaven already knew that he was gone? Yes. Of course they did. Yes. So why did they leave them there? They wasn't protecting anything. They weren't protecting anything. The tomb was empty. But they knew that these three women was going to show up.
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
Can you imagine? After all they had been through, after they seen him get beat, crucified, and they showed up, and they came over and they looked down inside that tomb, because you know a tomb's a low place, right?
Yeah.
They got down and they looked inside that tomb, and it was empty.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Had them angels not been there, guess what they would have thought? They said, somebody stole the Lord. Somebody took him.
Yes.
A thief has come in, but they didn't want it to be no misunderstanding. So he was there and he said, why ye? Why? Do y'all not understand? See, they didn't remember. They hadn't been remembering what he'd already told them. So they was like, oh my goodness. Can you imagine looking in there and the thing that you love more than anything was gone?
Thank you, Jesus.
He said, why ye look for the living among the dead things? You know how many times we do that, church? Y'all better get with me now. Come on. Do you know how many times?
Come on, brother.
Thank you, Jesus.
This is what happens. This is the tomb. This is the last place we seen him.
Yes, Lord.
He has to be at the last place we seen him, right?
Amen.
So we come to the tomb, we hurry to the tomb, and we look. I'm going to preach, is that okay?
Come on.
Our tradition says he's supposed to be where he was at before.
That's right.
Our religion says he's supposed to be there the same way he was in 1988 and 1974. He should be there. He should be right where he was at.
Yes, Lord.
God forbid he move. God forbid he move.
Come on, yes. Come on.
But he's not there, then what?
Yeah.
Then what? If he ain't there, that place is dead.
Amen.
You hear what I'm saying? If he ain't in it, it ain't no good. So when you go to the tomb and you start looking, and he ain't there, you better find out where he went. You better find him. You better find him. Don't you be looking in there. Don't you be stupid down in that dark place trying to find something that ain't there. He ain't there. He's already moved on. God's moved. We got to go with him. We can't do it the way we always do it. If he ain't in it, he ain't in it.
That's right. Amen.
We got to move on. The Bible said, why are you looking for the dead things?
Yeah.
Why are you looking for, in this place of deadness, for something that's living? We serve a living God. You might go back to the tomb of Muhammad, you might find him. You might go back to the tomb of whoever, any of them other gods, and you'll find them there. Because they didn't get up. But my God got up, amen. He got up, he ain't there no more. We got to find out where he went. We got to find out where he went. If it means we're going to get up here and sing 12 songs, we'll sing 12 songs. If it means we're going to run the pews, we'll run the pews. But wherever he's at, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. He said he ain't here. And still to this day, if I ain't mistaken, it's written on the tomb. He ain't here, he's risen. He ain't here, he's gone. He went to a new level. He ain't down here anymore. He's ascended. He's gone to a higher place. So don't you be down here in this low place trying to find him.
Yes, Lord. Thank you,
But
Jesus.
that's what happens to us.
Yes, it is.
That's what happens to us when life gets hard.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Come on.
When life gets hard.
Bless you. Thank you, Jesus.
We ain't being where we're supposed to be, because you know the truth of the matter is, if you're close to Jesus, when he moves, you'll be able to follow him.
Amen. That's right.
But if you're trying to view him from a distance, he might move and you'll never know it. He might move and you'll never even know he moved until you need him.
Yes.
And then you're going to run back. This is where oh no, he ain't there. I'm in trouble when he ain't in the tomb no more. I'm in trouble. This place is dark down here and I can't find him. I don't know where he's at. You better find him and get close to him. That way when he moves, you can move. That was one thing that intrigued me. Why are you searching for something in a dead thing?
Yes.
In a dead place? Why are you searching for a living God in something that's dead?
All right. Thank you.
And then let's turn to Ezekiel. Y'all don't have to. I'm going to tell you about some dry bones this morning.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
The hand of the Lord was upon me,
Yes, Jesus.
and He carried me. Somebody said, He carried me.
He carried me.
Out of the Spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Yes, Lord.
And caused me to pass round me.
Yes, Jesus.
And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
Yes.
And He said unto me, Son of man,
Glory.
what are you asking? Son of man, can these bones live?
Yes.
And I answered, O Lord, only thou knowest. And He said unto me, prophesy to these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon them, and cover them with skin, and put breath in them, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
He asked him a question. This is how he answered. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and I prophesied. There was a noise, and it began to shake, and the bones came together, bone to bone. And when I behold, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath into them. Then He said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come the four winds of breath, and breathe upon these slain, and they may live. So I prophesied as He commanded me. And the breath came up into them, and they lived. And I stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. What did He ask them? What did He ask them? First of all, the Bible said that He took him up.
Thank you, Jesus.
He took him up and set him in that place. In a vision, He set him in a low place. And then the Bible said He caused him to pass around them.
Hallelujah, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I believe somebody under the sound of my voice, I was going to go a different direction, but God's told me that some people have left some things in their past
Yes, Jesus.
that are now dead.
Yes, Jesus.
And the reason they're dead is because you've allowed them to be in the valley, and you've allowed them to become scattered. And I feel like this morning that it's more like a dream, a prophecy that you was given, something that somebody spoke over your life, a dream that you've had, something that you've left behind. But God says you're saying it's dead, but it's about time that you prophesy to that thing that you've let stay in that valley. See, because in that valley, the thing that amazed me was how scattered they were. They were dry, yeah, they were dry, but they were so scattered. You know what the enemy's number one defense is? If God wants to get inside, if the enemy wants to get inside this church, you know what he will do? He will divide you. And the next thing you know, Josh is over here. Kevin's over here, and they're scattered. And there's all this dry stuff in between them. And Valerie's in the back, and she's back here talking about Kevin being in the front. And the next thing you know, you've come off this high place where we're at. You've let yourself get down in this valley, and everything's scattered. And once He gets you scattered, He can divide and conquer. He can single you out. They said that they always talk about the lion, how they want, when he come after somebody, when he come after say a zebra or whatever he was going to eat for lunch that day, he would watch the herd go by.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
All the strong ones would go by. And all of a sudden he would look in the back. There's that one that was lacking behind. There was that one that wasn't up with the rest of the people. He was by himself, and the lion decided, hey, that one's singled out so I can devour him. Don't you ever let yourself get in a place where you feel like you're singled out. Don't you let yourself get in a place where you can let the enemy come into you and try to divide you and put you down in a valley, because he wasn't in that valley to die. He was in that valley to prophesy to the dead things. If God places you in a valley, it's because you need to bring something back to life. You ain't there for you, you're there for God. God carried him to the valley. He carried him to the valley.
Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
You must start at the bones. They provide the structure.
Yes, they do. Amen.
See, them bones was there, but before he could put anything else back together, he first had to put the bones back together. See, the bones are the structure. You here on this Sunday morning, you are the structure. If God's going to fill this house, you are the infrastructure of this house. You are the bones that's going to hold this thing together. Don't you get divided. Don't you get divided.
Hallelujah.
But the bones can't do anything if they're scattered. That's why the enemy wants to scatter them.
That's right. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
No one in this life has more to work with than you do. You feel like you're disqualified this morning? T.D. Jakes, all these famous preachers, all these people that seeing millions and millions of people, they don't have anything more to work with than you do. They got the same ears, the same eyes, the same mouth, the same nose, the same book. They got everything that you got. Don't you ever feel less than.
That's right.
We are called to raise the dead, and we are still walking around in the bones looking at the dead things.
Amen.
You're called to raise the dead, church.
Yes, Lord.
If God puts you in that valley, you better start prophesying your way out of there. Because if you stay in that valley too long, you're going to start becoming like they are.
Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
God may send you to a crack house, but you better prophesy and get out of there. You don't stay up in that mess, because if you stay up in that mess too long, you'll be conformed to it. You prophesy and get out.
Amen.
When Jesus went to Lazarus, what did they do? When he got there, they come out and said, "Oh, Jesus, if you'd only been here." Then the doctor come out. Jesus said, "It's not too late." You know what they said? He said, "He's going to live again." And they said, "Oh, yeah, I know Jesus. He's going to live again one day in the sweet by and by." Have you ever heard that? Oh, sweet by and by. He's going to live then. And Jesus said, "You don't understand who you're talking to."
Amen.
Because you know what he did? It just blew my mind when I thought about it. Lazarus was in the sweet by and by. Was he not? He'd been dead 3 days. He'd already ascended to wherever he was going. He was gone. He was in the sweet by and by. But you know what Jesus did? He said, "You don't understand. Yeah, he's going to be in the sweet by and by, but not yet." He reached over in the sweet by and by, and he got him, and he brought him back, and he set him back up in there, because he's got the power to do whatever he wants to do. He can do whatever he wants to do this morning. And we don't give him enough credit for what he can do.
Thank you, Jesus. Jesus. Hallelujah.
See, because the truth of the matter is this. Whatever we are, you know, the Bible said that he is the I am. Well, you are the I am also.
Yes.
Well, what does that mean, preacher? What do you mean I am the I am? I am the I am. You can get my babies up here. You can get my wife. Come here, Wendy. Come up here for a second. Come up here for a second. We are. I am the I am. She is the I am. Guess what we produce? We produce whatever's on the inside of us. And you can bring my babies up here and stand them here. They don't look like Kevin. They don't look like Josh. They don't look like anybody else. But they're produced out of me. They're produced out of her. They're produced whatever you are. That's what you're going to produce this morning. You can't produce something that's not on the inside of it.
Hallelujah. Bless him, Jesus.
If you're producing anger, better look.
Yes.
If you're producing hurt, you better look. If you're producing depression, you better look, because you can't produce something that's not on the inside of you, because you are. I am the only thing that I can produce is what's inside of me.
That's right. Come on.
Thank you, Lord.
You can't produce nothing else.
Thank you, Jesus.
Then the Bible says, we're about to close. The Bible says that they start putting the flesh back on. Prophesy, the flesh starts coming on. That's the substance that covers up the feeling, the substance, the structure that covers the bones. So after you get the structure, then they start adding meat to it. Amen. Then the skin comes. The skin keeps away all the impurities. It tells you if you're hot or cold. It senses you. And it can tell you, and it can sense danger. Then the Bible says something in there that got me too. It says, it talked about the shaking. You know what the shaking is? The shaking was a disturbance.
Yes, Jesus.
Do you know why? Whenever the praise team's praising, you may hear me say, come on!
Yes, Lord.
Sing it under the anointing of God. Bless them, Father God. Touch them, Father God. I'm creating a disturbance in the spirit that says, oh God, come down in this place right now.
Yes,
That's
Lord.
right.
Hallelujah.
I'm creating a disturbance in this place that says, I know if I support them and get behind them, I can push LaBelle to sing out of his belly a song that he ain't never sung before. You got to create a disturbance and let God know that you want him to come.
Hallelujah.
He created disturbance in that dry place.
Amen.
Yeah. And it said the bones started to shake and rattle, and they started back together, and they come together, and they become a mighty great army.
Yes, Lord.
And he said, well, before they become a great army, he said they're back together. There's no breath in it. See, because the truth is this morning, we'll close, come on up here now. The truth is this morning, sometimes you may not be in that place of dry bones.
Yes, Jesus.
You may not be in that place of disconnection, but you may be in a place to where you're just existing. See, because the truth of the matter is, I can put a skeleton right here.
Yes, Jesus.
I want you to imagine this with me real quick. Just a skeleton. Just a bony old skeleton with nothing on it.
Yes,
And then on this side, I can stand. Come up here, Kevin. Kevin's going to stand right here. And there's a skeleton right here. What's the difference between this skeleton and this man?
Life.
Life. He's got flesh.
Yes, it does.
He's got hair. The skeleton don't have anything. But if I take his breath out, if I take the life out of him, if he don't begin to breathe when God says breathe, he may stand here and look like a man, but he ain't nothing more than a skeleton. Because without the breath of God,
Amen. Hallelujah.
without the breath of God, we know more than them dry bones. Without the breath of God, we know more than them dry bones. We know more than those dry bones.
Right.
And there's thousands and thousands of people out here that are nothing more than dry bones.
Glory. Praise you. Thank you, Jesus.
He said, what do you have me to do? He said, speak to the wind. Speak to the Spirit. And the four winds will come from the east, the north, the south, the east, the west.
Thank you, Jesus.
And it'll breathe life.
Glory. Glory, God. Thank you, Jesus.
It'll bring the difference.
Amen.
It'll bring the difference. That's the only thing that's different this morning, church. But we're never going to get there. We're never going to be able to prophesy to those dry places. We're never going to be able to see them come in by the hundreds. We're never going to see the cancer fall off on the floor. We're never going to see all these things as long as we keep running to the tomb. I'm getting down and look at where it used to be. This morning my prayer to you is that the fresh wind of God blows upon every one of them. And it don't matter what we used to do. It don't matter who's singing the praises. It don't matter who's preaching. It don't matter none of those things. But God said, find me. Whatever you got to do, find me this morning. Because I ain't where I used to be. I ain't where I used to be. He's not in 3 points and a point. He's not in the praise and worship singers. He's in the praise that you inhabit within your being. He's within the gratitude on the inside. What made those women awesome was they were all grateful.
Yes, Jesus.
They would go to him no matter what. I think that if he wouldn't have risen from the dead on the 3rd day, they would have continued to go back. They would have continued to go back because the impartation that he made on the inside of them was, they couldn't do nothing else but crazy. When God truly touches you, you'll have to go back just like the leper did. That one said, that one was going with them, and then all of a sudden he said, wait a minute. That man just healed me. Y'all can go on if you want to. Show yourself to the priest. I don't care because I'm going back. I'm going back. Praise him. And when he did, God said, you know what? Just like the disciples, only one of them got it. He said, because you got it. Because you got it, I'm going to make you whole. Because you got it, I'm going to do something different for you. He said, I'm going to build my church on you because you got it. You got it. You found me. You knew where I was at. I wasn't lost. You knew where I was at. You know where to come and find me. Stand to your feet with me this morning. Every head bowed, every eye closed in this place. Father God, I thank you for everything you've done, Lord. But if you're in this place this morning and you've lost Jesus and you don't know where he's at, you can't find him and you want to find him this morning, if that's you, I want to see you slip up your hand right now. If you've lost him and you don't know where he's at, he can't be found this morning. Anybody? Anybody? All right. All right, if you're in here this morning, you're saved and you're on the way to